So in this video, let's look at how we are going to model this object right here in SolidWorks. So once again, remember that this is the book that we are using. It's SolidWorks 2022 step-by-step guide by Amit, Bhatt, and Wiley. Now this book is very detailed, and I think if you are getting started with SolidWorks, it's a very good resource for you. Now let's look at what each of these sketches here represent. So let's start by drawing a coordinate system. So let's assume that this is the x direction, this is the y direction, and this right here is the z direction. That is, we are assuming that this is x, this is y, and this is z. So if you look at this sketch right here, it is what you will see when you view the model from this direction. And so when you view it from the top, that is along the z direction, this is what you are going to see. If you also view it along the x direction, this is what you are going to see. Thinking about the design, thinking about how you are going to go about the design is more important than starting. Now here we can see that there is some consistency in the thickness and dimensions from this side until you get to the center of this hole right here. So I'm going to start by drawing a sketch profile that looks like an L, and then I'm going to extrude in this direction. So let's open our SolidWorks software and get started. So once you have SolidWorks opened, select new and select parts and click OK. So now select the plane that you want to sketch in. So I'm going to go with the front plane. Select sketch. So we are going to start with the sketch. So now we have to specify the dimensions for the sketch. Let's accept this. Now, if you look at this sketch right here, you can see that the thickness of this side is 8 mm, and it's also 8 mm in this direction. So let's go ahead and specify that. So select sketch, smart dimension, this line here and this line here, and specify 8 millimeters. Now this line here, specify 8 millimeters. Sorry. Okay. So now I left with a few things more. We know that the height from this direction, from this face here to the base, it's 68 millimeters, and the distance from this point right here, this vertex right here, to the center of this circle is 46. So 68 and 46. Let's go ahead and specify that. So this is 68. And this is 46. So once we have this sketch fully defined, let's go ahead and extrude it to the thickness in this direction. And you can see from the diagram that thickness is 38 millimeters, this thickness right here. So select features, select extruded boss, the sketch selected, and then you specify 38 millimeters. All right, let's accept that. Now, if you're wondering how I'm jumping from the SolidWorks software to other softwares, I'm just using the Alt and Tab keys. So when you press and hold Tab, when you press and hold Alt, as you are pressing on Tab key, Windows allows you to jump from one window to another. So this is particularly useful if you are working on something and you have to be referencing the sketch somewhere and you are using the same computer, it makes it very easy for you to be jumping from one page to the other. So now that we have this, let's go ahead and make this curved part right here. And we can see that for that part, the radius of the external arc is 19 mm and the diameter of the inner circle is 18 mm. So let's go ahead and do that. So for this, we will use the 3-point arc. Yeah, so 3-point arc. Select this face. So first point, a second point, and then a third point. Yeah. So to form a close sketch, let's put a line there so that you can extrude. Yeah. Now let's specify the dimensions. So this is 19 mm. All right. Accept. Now our sketch is fully defined. So we go back to features, select extruded boss. Now let's look at how the model is looking in 3D space. So when you select Ctrl+7, you put it in isometric view. You can view it this way. Press and hold Ctrl and select number 7 on the keyboard. Now we can see that the direction is wrong. So we flip the direction. The thickness is too much. The lead gets 8 mm. There we have it. So now let's go ahead and make the hole on this face. So we select this face, select sketch. It's going to focus it for us. Now, one thing I like about SolidWorks is that here we want to draw a circle that is concentric to this. You can see that as you move the circle to along this curve here, it highlights certain points on it. This right here represents the center of that arc. So you are going to go ahead and click there and sketch our circle. And that circle has a diameter of 18 mm. So let's go ahead and specify that as 18 mm and accept. Yeah, so we have our sketch. So now we are going to use extruded cut to make the hole inside the 3D model. So extruded cut, and we want to extrude up to this surface right here. So let's change from blind to up to surface. Select this face. Then we have our hole right there. So now let's go ahead and make this part right here with a corner rectangle. Now we can see that the thickness of this part here was not given, but it's comparable to the thickness of this side and this side. So we are going to use 8 mm, and then we are going to specify the distance from this face here to the edge right here. That is giving us 12 mm in the diagram, and the height is 18 mm. So let's go ahead and draw that. So select the face once more, select sketch, select the corner rectangle. You click this side here, you decide here, escape. So now go back to sketch, select smart dimension. Now the distance from here to here is 12 mm. The distance from here to here, we are using 8 mm. So 8. Yeah. Now sketch is fully defined. So let's go ahead to features, extruded boss, and then specify the height on blind. Now we can see from the sketch that the height is 18 mm. So let's go ahead and specify that 18 mm. Right. So now it's left with one more thing to do. That is to sketch the profile for this part right here. So we are going to sketch 2 concentric circles, and then we are going to extrude in this direction. So you can see, now let's look at the diagram wall, we can see that the distance from this edge here to this point on the circular profile is not given. But let's use a distance of 5 millimeters. Yeah, this is a distance of 5 millimeters. And then the inner circle has a diameter of 20. The outer circle has a diameter of 28. So select this face here, sketch. Select the circle too. And make sure you are sketching the circle along the center of this face. Yeah, so let's go ahead. Said the diameter of the inner circle is 20. So sketch dimension. It's 20 mm. Let's take a look at the diagram well. And we can see that the outer circle has a diameter of 28 and the inner has a diameter of 20. That means that in this direction, the distance from this part here to this part here is half of 8, which is 4. So it means this part here has thickness of 4 millimeters. Because 4 here plus 20 plus 4, that will give us 28. So that means that if we are sketching the inner circle and the distance from this side here to this point on the circle is 5 mm, then the distance from this edge here to the center of that circle should be 5 plus 4 plus half of 20. So that is 5 plus 4 plus 10, giving you 19. Okay, let's go ahead and specify that. So 19 mm. Yeah, we have the inner circle there. Now our sketch is still undefined because we have to specify the distance from the center to this edge here. So let's go ahead and select that. That should be half of the thickness, which is 19 mm. So let's accept. Now we have a fully defined sketch. Now using offset entities, let's create the outer circle. So offset entities, we are going to offset it by 4 mm. We are going to select this entity, offset it by 4 mm, accept. So now that we have this, let's go to features, extruded boss. Make sure that this contour right here is selected. And then let's look at the height. The height of the cylinder is 17 mm. So I'm going to put that here, 70. Then accept this. All right, you're almost there. But we can see from the sketch that this part goes through the solid body. It's actually a hole. So let's go ahead and make that hole. So to make things simple, we don't have to start another sketch. We just select this face, select sketch. Now you go to convert entities and you have a sketch right there. So using this sketch as our profile, we go to features, you select extruded cut, and we are going to change from blind to up to surface and select this face right here. That's it. You have our model here. So now that you have the model, we can go ahead and specify material properties. Let's look at how we can do that. So we select appearances. We can change how it looks like. Let's say we want to make it look like a sprayed body. So we're going to add this red color right here to the entire parts. And there we have a color. Yeah, we can change it as you want. So that's all for this video, and I'll see you in the next one.